Yes, folks, it's Tales from the Jails with John G. Sutton. Don't forget, folks, to get my book. Yeah, you can get it, and it's there on Amazon. Here we are. Now, I keep plugging this, but it's very important that you read this book because it tells all about how it was when I took on the Prison Officers Association and lost, by the way. It doesn't matter, folks. Anyway, I'm going to talk a little bit today about the actual training of prison officers, because back in the 60s and 70s, they had training schools, one at Wakefield and one at Ley Hill, which was an open prison, but it was next to Ley Hill, you know, it wasn't actually in the prison. And I went to Ley Hill, and it was near Bristol, near a place called Chipping Sodbury. Really nice area, you know. And the prison, open prison, they had a farm there. I mean, I remember one night, I went to the bar in the prison. They had a prison bar, you know. And I was with my friend Paul, and I had about 4 or 5 pints of beer, which was quite a lot for me. And because it didn't touch the sides with Paul, and it got to be about 10:15, I said, I got to go back, Paul. I'm tired, you know, because we've been at it all day, working in the on the course, you know. And he said, no, I said, I'm going to have another couple more. I said, well, you just walk back with me. No, he said, I'll be all right. I said, well, be careful. He said, I said, I'm not going all that way around, because you had to walk down the entrance to the prison of Ley Hill, and then down the road and round, and then back up to the thing. He said, I'm just going to cut through the farm. I said, well, I wouldn't do it, but good luck with that. Anyway, the next morning, it would be, I don't know, 9 o'clock. We were all on parade. You know, it's to parade like soldiers in them days, one behind the other twice. And we're on parade, and there was this tremendous stench, a terrible pong. And the principal officer who was running the course that we were on, or our section of it, came on. He said, right, who's been in the pig pen? And what had happened was my mate Paul, he'd had about 3 more beers and decided he was cutting across the farm, of course, on a straight line between the officers' club and where we were residing in the school hall, you know. They only had bedrooms there, about 4 in a room, something like that, you know. He climbed over the wall, over the gates and over the wood into the pig pen and cut across the pig pen, except it was pitch black, and you know what pig pens are like. Well, the pig pen was covered in pig shit, and that's where he ended up, kept falling down. So all his clothes and his trousers and shoes and everything was covered in pig shit. Of course, when he got back into the room where he was sleeping, everybody objected to this, and of course he stank the place out. And he was still like that in the morning. Because, I mean, he was 3 parts pissed, wasn't he? Covered in pig shit. It was quite amusing, that. Who's been in the pig pen? Yeah, it's in my book, by the way, the first book. Yeah. Anyway, talking about training prison officers, don't do it now. They don't have a training school as such. They do it locally, and they recruit locally. They used to recruit nationally, but now they don't. They recruit locally. That's why you've got things like G4S and Serco running prisons. They just recruit locally. I can understand why people would recruit locally now, because they no longer provide prison accommodation. You know, back in the 60s and 70s and 80s even, you know, if you joined the prison service, you were given a house, not a particularly spectacular house, but a nice little house, you know, and that was part of your remuneration package, but not now. I mean, the problem you've got is, let's say you live in London, and you're working at Wormwood Scrubs, and your basic rate is about 30,000 a year, something like that. Yeah, how are you going to cope? How are you going to rent somewhere in London? I mean, I have people I know in London, they say that the average rent in London is fast approaching £2,000 a month. So after you've paid tax on $30,000 a year, you're not going to be left with enough money if you used every single penny you'd got to rent a standard 2-bedroom flat. Nope. When I went there in 1975, I was expecting to get awarded a quarter, an accommodation, a house or a flat from the prisons. They said, oh no, you're going to have to wait 18 months. I thought, that's not going to happen, is it? So anyway, I thought I'll go and rent a flat. So I went into a local estate agent and said, I want to look at renting a flat. All right. So we have got some flats to rent, They said, where do you work? I said, I'm at work in Wormwood Scrubs. They said, forget it. They said, if you used all your wages from Wormwood Scrubs, you wouldn't have enough money to rent a flat in London. That was London West 12, by the way. That's round Shepherd's Bush, Acton, Ealing, that area. You want enough money to rent a flat. That's how I used to live there. Engelbert Humperdinck. He lived in East Acton. He rented a flat above a shop near the Askew Arms in East Acton. Seriously. Imagine that. That was before he had big hits with things like Please Release Me, Let Me Go. That one that everybody murders on the karaoke machine. I don't do them things. I do sing I'm going to sing for you today. In fact, I better roll the answer. Yeah, so anyway, basically the training schools are now local and they're run by the prisons. But they don't have a national training school as such. They don't have national recruitment. And you get paid a local kind of wage, don't you? And you know what they did? The prison system, the prison service. They offered early retirement to all the experienced staff. Staff that had got 20, 22, 23 years in. They offered them early retirement and a package to get out the system. You know why? Because they wanted to bring in all these hostesses so that they could run the prisons with hostesses and change the regime completely, which they have done, I believe. They've give people guitars now, don't they, and guitar lessons and computers and I don't know. They're allowed to use telephones all the time. They never did anything like that when I was in. I'm not saying it was right. It was fairly brutal when I was there and very basic and an insult to the human rights of the individuals. Well, I don't know if we've gone too far in the other direction, but we've still got massively overcrowded prisons. Ding dong ding, it's the song dinger, folks. Yep. They're up and running onto the hills of Yorkshire now. The goats are laughing. Larry and his laughing goats. I'm going to sing his song now. This is a song I wrote. It was recorded in America by a guy called Jack Wills and his oppo, Lois Barine. And I wrote the lyrics and sang the demo and sent it over to America, and they recorded it there. It's on a couple of albums. It wasn't a single track, it was an album track. It's called Streets of Rain. Was early evening in late November, the wind hard from the western plain. I looked at the door that you used to answer, and I walked the streets of rain. In shades of twilight I can see your face. Your laughter echoes memories in my brain. Days of summer when love was young. Now they're only the lonely streets of rain. Listen to the raindrops. My heart aches with pain. I miss those magic moments and I walk the streets of rain. The sound of your laughter ringing, your voice, that sweet refrain. Where we kissed, there is a shadow down the dark streets of rain. Our love, it is eternal, forever I see, searching for an answer I just can't explain. When our two hearts were beating, so I walk the streets of rain. Listen to the raindrops, yeah, my heart aches with pain, and I miss the magic moments, and I walk the streets of rain. In a dream, I found you standing beneath the bridge beside a train, but that shining image faded down those lonesome streets of rain. One day we will encounter, then our love will remain forever together, then we will never walk those lonely streets of rain. The lonely streets of rain. There you go. Streets of Rain by John G. Sutton. Thanks for watching.